Exactly 1 year ago, I hired a personal trainer, an online personal trainer, and today I'm going to tell you how exactly it went. So before you take the leap and you hire that Instagram trainer who is promising you all of these results and you want to look just like them, wait a second, watch this video, and let me tell you exactly what happened to me and the lessons I've learned. Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Danielle. This is Daniela Diaries, and here we are inspiring to inspire you, me, everyone to be the very best version of yourself. Now, everybody's version will differ, and that's okay. But as long as you are leveling up, living life to your very best and being the very best version of yourself, being your authentic self, doing the shadow work, all those things, that's what we're about here. So if you're looking for like-minded people, you have found your favorite place, your very safe space on this very small corner of the internet. So I encourage you to stick around and join the crew. And if you've been rocking with me for a minute and you stuck with me through all of these changes, through all these years, you already know we're real friends and I love you. So it has been exactly 1 year. Memorial Day weekend has been my 1 year anniversary with my coach. Now my coach, her name is Brenda Garcia. She goes under @Roofs and Quads on Instagram. She is a bodybuilder. She is she's going for her pro card for the wellness category. Now, if you're new to bodybuilding, there's so many different categories, wellness being the most popular right now, but also the newest division. So you'll see bikini, figure, wellness. I can't think of the other ones. Yeah, there's quite a few. But wellness basically is more of the bottom heavy girls. Those are the girls with the really big legs and like the smaller upper body. And that's kind of me. So when I seen Brenda, I was like, girl, yes. So before I actually met Brenda, I had hired somebody else. Okay, so Brenda is actually the second coach that I had hired that I found on Instagram. So long story short, it is very hard to actually get a hold of any of these online coaches to actually even get a response. So I had been searching for a few months, probably from like February, and I found one girl. She was out in Vegas and I hired her. So her price and Brenda's price were the exact same. And I was like, okay, I hired her on, and her program was kind of wild. She just gave me a set of macros. Nothing changed on those sets of macros. And basically all she had me doing was cardio. A lot of cardio and some small HIIT routines. And I was working with her. I was not seeing any weight difference. Nothing was happening. I couldn't get a hold of her. When I would check in, she wouldn't respond. And yeah, so I stuck with her for maybe 1 or 2 months. And I was like, you know what, at this point, I'm just wasting money. I'm not seeing any results. And yeah, it just wasn't working. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to continue. I just kind of like said, okay, thank you for your time. I'm just going to go ahead and move on. And I went back. And I had been following Brenda for quite some time. I was super impressed with her. I loved her physique. And I don't know, I was just like, this girl's freaking cool. So I had seen that she had an opening for clients. And sometimes when you see these like pro bodybuilders, they only take on competition. So Brenda does competition and lifestyle. I am more of a lifestyle recipient, meaning that I'm not training for a competition. Now, when I did meet Brenda, I was like, maybe I would like to do a show when I got a little bit older, because usually the show demographic, or if you're competing, it's like a 10-year thing. So it's like 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59 kind of thing. And I was like, there ain't no way in hell I'm gonna be 39 years old competing with a 30-year-old because my skin is not skinning. So I was like, you know what? Let me just stick with lifestyle. So I had met Brenda, and what I liked so much about her right from the jump is we had a call. And she's like, can I call you? I would like to just talk to you and see, you know, kind of like an interview, right? She interviewed me because she just doesn't accept everybody. So she called me and we were talking about my life. She said, you know, I had seen that you did a YouTube channel. I kind of watched some of your videos. Let's talk about what you want to do. So we were on the phone for like an hour, and she's like, all right, I'm happy. I can do this. I think we'll be a really great match. I just need to know that you are going to be consistent. You are going to stay on track, and that's it. So basically you only have a few times not to check in, and then she will drop you. And she's like, before we even start, I would like you to go and get a round of blood work. I would like to see your results, and I would like for you to have a food sensitivity test. Now, I know that this may be an initial expense, but I thought it was really a good idea because she wanted to make sure that I was going in with good health, right? Making sure that there was, if I had any food sensitivity, we could address it, and making sure if there was any underlying health issues, if my, kidneys weren't functioning well, if my glucose was high, stuff like that. Any alarming markers that I need to address with my primary care physician could be all addressed. I did that, sent it in, everything looks good. So when I did my food sensitivity test, we had to figure out that, which I didn't know, I was sensitive to nightshades, so like tomatoes, grapes, dairy, I think that's kind of it. Nightshades and tomato and dairy. So, which I didn't even know, because this is coming from somebody who was a keto background, and I ate cheese, honey, all the cheese. I was cheesing it up, and I was like, dang, no wonder why. Like now I look back on it and I look at old videos and I could see the inflammation in like my skin. Even when I was like showing my hands, my fingers were real like chubby. I could see the inflammation, and I never even thought that it was contributing to anything I was eating. I never thought, my only thought was like if I had like a dairy sensitivity or anything, I would have like diarrhea or indigestion or something like that. I never thought of anything else, but turns out I did. So I was really happy to get that done, and I was like, all right, cool, already, we're gonna knock those out of the park. So she did establish a meal plan for me. Now, a lot of people don't offer meal plans because of legality behind it, to each its own. But she's like, here, this is your meal plan. This is what it's going to look like. I want you to eat these meals. And right off the bat, I was like, 6 meals? That is a lot. Like, I was used to having maybe 1 or 2 meals, and that was it. Like, I was always used to being hungry. I came from diet culture, right? And dieting, you're always just hungry, and it's always just this thought in the back of your head. And she's like, no, we're not doing that. So I started out with 6 meals, and we've been rocking with them 6 meals. And yeah, and I've been following the meal plan. Now at this point, a year in the game, I know my own macros. I could probably, tweak it here and there, but the consistency of a meal plan and the simplicity of it, it works for me. It's a vibe for me. I don't mind cooking. I enjoy cooking for my family, and the ease of having like food prepped for myself, it's a win-win for me because I just like things to be consistent. I like repetition. I thrive off of that. So some people, that might not be your thing, but I found that to be really helpful. So the first things first that I have learned from hiring a personal trainer is I was not eating enough, and my metabolism was pissed off. My metabolism was so pissed off, and we had to heal it. So when I say healing it, it wasn't like 2 weeks of just eating food or something like that. Like, it took months. It took months to kind of put myself in a reverse diet, slowly increase my calories, and eating every few hours, getting my metabolism back up to speed, and it took a really long time. I was on that hamster wheel of severe restriction and severe calorie restriction for so long that I felt I had like a inner turmoil initially. And I would email her and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm like really nervous. I'm afraid I'm gonna gain weight. And she's like, Danielle, please trust me. Please trust me. Just give me this month, trust me. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna trust her, because honestly at that point I was like, what else do I have to lose except for the weight, right? So I was like, here we go. I ate the meals, and sure enough, the weight started to come off. And I could not believe it. I'm going to insert right now the picture of Memorial Day weekend last year to Memorial Day weekend this year. Now, when I tell you that I did not have a large amount of weight to lose, I started, I believe I was like 196, 198, around there, just a little bit under 200. Again, I am 5'7", but I had a lot of, I was very bottom heavy, and my bottom half is extremely stubborn, okay? I hold all my weight mostly in my bottom half. Now, I do have muscle separation in my stomach. I've had 3 babies. I've had 3 C-sections, and I've had already, my highest weight of life when I first started this journey, I was 286 pounds. So that was 286 pounds, and I was about 3 months postpartum with my youngest daughter, Rebecca. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, you just had a baby. I've only gained 17 pounds with Becky. I didn't gain a lot of weight with her. I was super, super sick. I had severe hyperemesis, so I couldn't gain any weight because I was so sick. Like, when I tell you, I know people like, everybody's sick. Like, no. I had like esophageal varices from throwing up so much that I had to go see an ENT because I was literally, my throat was so raw. I was throwing up, like my esophagus was bleeding. Like, it was crazy. So I did not gain a lot of weight with Becky at all. I couldn't eat anything. So it was just years of bad food choices, little to no movement. And yeah, so that's kind of where that got me. So when I started with Brenda, I was like, all right, here we go. So I started the 6 meals, and then we had a training program right off the bat. Training right away had weights in it and cardio. I did cardio. I think we started out 4 days a week for 25 minutes, and then we kind of increased it and we tweaked it. When I started with her, I had the same movements for 6 months. I did the same weight training routine for 6 months. And like a lot of you guys, I was like, why aren't we changing this? Why isn't she adding new stuff? Like, what did at first I was like, nothing's changing. This is just going to be it. But you have to do the same routine. I know it may seem boring, but there's a method to the madness. You have to stay consistent. That's the way you make your gains. What is going to change? Not the movements, but the weight that you are using. So each week, she's like, if you could only add 2.5 pounds, add 2.5 pounds. Each week, I want you to slightly increase the weight. If you can go 5 pounds, go 5. But each week, increase. And wherever you left off that week prior, make that your start weight for the next week. So when I tell you, I was starting out with just, doing squats with just the bar, and now I don't do just bar anymore because of my back, but I'll do like the reverse hack squat, and I can do up to like 400 pounds, so again, you slowly increase, you build up the strength, and that's where you see your gains. Okay. So trust the process. They know what they're talking about. If you knew what you were talking about, you wouldn't be asking them for help. So I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. And that's what kind of I had to think of. Like, if I knew what I was doing, I wouldn't be paying her to do it for, like, telling me what to do. So remember that if you knew what you were doing and you knew what you were talking about, and if you knew best, you would be able to do this, and this weight wouldn't be an issue. So sometimes you just have to take the back seat and let the pros tell you what to do and accept it and just stay on par. And that is the one thing that I did. And another thing was, I was consistent. I was consistent in my check-ins. I never, ever, ever missed a check-in. I never missed a weigh-in. I never missed a workout. I mean, first off, I have missed workouts. I want to say that, but not because I just didn't feel like going. There has been times where I was out, like, I hired her, and like a week later I ended up getting COVID. And then, so then I was out for like a week. I hired her, and then I ended up coming down. If you guys don't remember, I ended up with the flu, so I was out for a week. I ended up with an upper respiratory infection. I was out for a week. So there's things, and you will notice that too, like your immune system is going to be compromised. I don't know the method of it. Make sure you're taking your vitamins, okay? Another thing that I've learned is the importance of supplements, but not garbage supplements. I'm not saying like diet pills and laxatives and Lasix and stuff like that. I'm meaning like a good multivitamin, vitamin, digestive enzymes, making sure you're getting a good intra-workout in. And intra-workout is kind of what you're drinking while you're working out. I do my BCAAs, I'll add my creatine in it. My BCAAs has glutamine in it, and I make sure that I'm sipping on that to keep me going. It's super important. I make sure that I am getting rest. And that was another thing that I've learned on this journey, is that rest and recovery is just as important as your eating and your movement. People don't emphasize the importance of rest. That means sometimes you have to go to bed earlier. That means that like maybe you stay off TikTok for the last 2 hours of your night, and You have a good nighttime routine, so you settle in. Not only do I go to bed early, but honey, I send my kids to bed early because they need the sleep too, and they are a lot better, happier creatures once they get their full 8, okay? So I make sure every night by 7 o'clock, my phone is on the charger. I don't even keep my phone charged on my side of the bed. I put it on Leo's, and I unattach. And I make sure that I get a good night's rest. I make sure that I am doing Epsom salt baths to help with muscle recovery. I make sure I'm foam rolling. I do a lot of stretches. I stretch before I go to bed. I stretch before I go to the gym in the morning. I make sure that I get deep tissue massages. These little things that, and I'm going to tell you something, if you've never gotten a deep tissue massage, don't go in there with the mindset that it's going to be relaxing, because you are quite literally going to pay somebody to beat the hell out of you. But it's like, you need it. You need to break up those, like that lactic buildup in your legs and your back and everywhere else, and you'll feel so much better. But while you're getting it, I make sure that after big group days, like big muscle group days, I have a rest day in between, and I give my body ample time to recover. Now, some days you're just not going to feel like going. It's just like you don't feel like going to work, you know, but is it your mind being like, I don't feel like getting up and doing this? Or is it like your body's physically so sore and tired that you cannot get up and like you are in pain? You have to be able to differentiate between the both, because we all can make the excuse that we're tired. I don't think there's anybody who's watching this video right now who can't say, yeah, honey, I can go for a nap right now. We're all tired. But how is it tired because you're being lazy, or is it tired because you're exhausted and your body needs a break? Because you need to listen to your body, because if you do not, you will not see any growth, you will not see any weight loss, you will be guaranteed an injury. You know, a lot of times, so I had to start my rest days now are Mondays and Thursdays. Because I check in on Fridays, I would notice that on Saturday mornings when I would wake up, my weight would be lower when I was training on Thursdays. It tends to happen because when I weight train, my body is swollen, right? It's retaining some water, because you essentially, when you are lifting weights, you are ripping into your muscles, right? You're making little tiny rips, and when they heal, they add like a little bit of scarring over it, and that's where you get the gains, right? And I wasn't giving myself enough time, and I was noticing it when on my check-ins. I was a little bit swollen, I wasn't as lean. So having that rest day before my check-in, definitely could see the results a little bit better. So if you are training and you're checking in, you're like, hey, I feel like I'm not seeing it, make sure you try to give yourself a rest day and see how you look the next day. Another important thing is what you're eating, right? What kind of meat are you eating? What are your protein sources? I had to really nail that down. So for a few of my meals, I get a choice of a chicken, white fish, ground turkey, like 99%, and shrimp. And then for one meal, I get to have like a fattier meat. So I can do like a red meat, like a lean steak, 93% ground beef, or I can do salmon. So usually, I usually get what's on sale. I'm not gonna lie to you when it comes to like the red meat, you know. And it depends on what I'm in the mood for. Like I love a good like ground beef burger, like a burger bowl. If I can get the ground beef on sale, I'll buy it. Usually I just do lean steak, and I have that for one serving. And then for chicken, or like my lean white meat, I guess, I don't do any pork. I haven't had pork in a very long time. I do boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I cannot tolerate chicken breast. It feels like a punishment to me. And if you guys are like me and you're like, I cannot stomach chicken breast, honey, don't do it. Boneless, skinless chicken thighs, the fat macro's off by like 1 or 2 grams, and the taste is just out of this world in comparison. So it doesn't have to be a punishment. I feel like people believe that when you are on like a weight loss journey or a wellness journey, your food is your punishment and you're just gonna have to suffer. I don't feel like I'm suffering at all. My food's very, very good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I prep out all my chicken, I make my rice, everything. I have to prep it a couple times during the week because my kids eat it because they generally enjoy it. My husband takes it for lunch because he generally enjoys it. So I flavor up my food, I make it taste really good, and it's fine. I usually, like this week, we're doing chicken thighs. I always have chicken thighs cooked up, and we're doing some shrimp because I got shrimp on sale. My carb source is either I could do pasta, potatoes, or rice. I've been doing a lot of rice lately because I've been making like a Spanish rice. And it's been really good. And again, I have to make quite a few batches because my kids like it, or I'll do pasta with a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of parm on there, just like grated parm, and it's really, really good. So you don't have to treat your food as a punishment. Season it well and enjoy the process. If you're making yourself eat things, like I don't like cod, right? If she was like, you have to eat cod for every meal, I couldn't have done it because I don't like it. And that would be a punishment to me. So make sure you're eating things that you enjoy. You know, you can get some sauces, like the Jihu sugar-free sauces. Make sure it's the sugar-free ones and not like the Yum Yum sauce or anything like that, because those are full of like, they're a better alternative to the original, but they're still just tons of calories, right? That was a main thing, I feel like, was my food choice. At the end of the night, like I could do oatmeal. I was doing cereal for a while. It's been great. I do have to incorporate a protein powder in my oatmeal. Now, when it comes to protein powders, I'm gonna be honest with you, they're all not that great. I'm gonna say whatever. Everybody's like, oh, this protein powder is delicious. It's not. They're telling you a whole ass lie. Okay? If someone's like, do you want, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what the option is, but there's no good protein powder. They all taste kind of funky, you know? It's just the lesser of the evil. Now, if you could do like a whey protein, which I can't, but if you could, I want to say the best one I've ever tried was the Chips Ahoy one from, what's that brand? Can't think of it now. They have like Chips Ahoy, they have Nutter Butter. Dang, if I could remember the name of the brand, I'll leave it down below. They sell it like GNC. It's hella expensive, but that one's pretty good because there's like chunks of cookie in it and stuff like that. And I did it with almond milk, and it was pretty tolerable. Now, I can't have whey protein. My body just does not do well with it, and I do like a plant-based vegan protein right now, and it's like a pea protein. And I do a banana bread from One Up. It's pretty decent. I make it in, like, I'll shake it up and then I'll add it to my oatmeal. And then I put like some sugar-free syrup on it, and I'll put some berries in it, and it's pretty good. I dress it up enough to where it's tolerable and it doesn't like make me want to yak. But there are some other brands, honey, where you're like, ugh, ugh. Like my dad, man, he literally takes the C.T. Fletcher approach where he's like, you don't eat for taste, you eat for results. And I'm like, I'd rather just not eat it. Like I just, you know, some things I'm just like, Make sure that if you're gonna find a protein, because most of the time if you're on a higher protein, like protein is my highest macro, and I don't want to say highest macro. My carbs actually surpass my protein, but I always am like a protein focus, so I get about 188 grams. So it's kind of hard to hit 188 grams. So I'll usually, you know, get a little bit of protein powder in there because, you know, I just don't want to stay eating meat all day long. But with eating that high protein, you're going to have to watch on how your digestion is. So a lot of people have a digestive enzyme. They sell like papaya ones on Amazon. That's the one I take. I also use the One Up Daily Cleanse, and I also take Bellway Fiber every day, and that just helps everything. It helps my stomach. I don't have any bloating, helps me stay regular, helps my food digest quicker, and I don't feel heavy or like I'm not burping or anything like that. So those components, it is a little bit of an investment, but you will notice a difference, if not right away, within a few days. Like if you wanted to try, I had to put my knee up here. If you wanted to try the digestive enzyme, I order mine off of Amazon. Again, it's the papaya one. It works out fine. I have them with my red meat meal, and I also have it with my last meal of the night to make sure my digestion's good right before I go to bed. If you're looking for the daily cleanse from One Up, I have a link and everything and like a discount code down below. And if you're looking to try out the Bellway Fiber, I have a discount code with them as well. But I use the one, they actually just came out with gummies. I've been trying them out. I'll keep you guys updated. But the one I really, really love is it's the fiber and collagen. It's like their beauty one, and it has hyaluronic acid, collagen, and fiber in it. It's just a drink. I drink it in the morning before I have my first meal, before I have my coffee. slam it back, and it's been fine. I'm on that, and so's my dad, because my dad has some GI issues. My dad had a perf bowel, so he's missing a big chunk of his large intestine, so he has to be on those for like life, and they work really well. So I will say, it is, hiring a trainer is an investment. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It is a little bit of an investment, but if you think about it, if you were, you know, say signing up for Weight Watchers, right? And you sign up for Weight Watchers and you're paying, I don't know, whatever the price is a month. What is it, like 30, 40 bucks a month? So you're paying for that. And then you're gonna buy all their treats, right? Those are expensive. And then they're like, all right, here's the Weight Watchers approved food. So you're gonna buy that. And if you're gonna be making all their fancy recipes, all the ingredients will add up. You know, so is it an investment? Yes, it is an investment, but it's the best investment. I mean, you're investing in your health. I mean, I'd rather invest in my health and in myself than take a vacation or, you know, go to a concert. Or I know that people are like, oh, memories and stuff like that, but honey, I'm here for a long time, not a good time. So I'm more focused on that. Now, when people think of costs, right, you're gonna hire a trainer, what are the costs? No, I don't know how every trainer is, but I've hired 2. And they were the same price. Totally 2 different people, totally 2 different physiques, totally 2 different levels of expertise. And for both of them, I paid $200 a month. Now, is that a lot? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's a lot. I mean, I guess that's a car payment, right? But I also, there's things that I go without. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get my eyelashes done. I don't have a car payment. I, don't go shopping every week for clothes. And, I'm not at the bar every weekend tossing it behind a bartender. You know what I mean? There's like little things that I cut corners where they needed to be cut so I could make these things happen. I know that not everybody has that, but I'm going to be honest with you. If that's what you're looking for, this is around the price. Some may be cheaper, and if you get a good one that's cheaper, then good for you. If some may be higher, I'm not entirely too sure. Now, I know some trainers, like for example, I was watching Kenzie Vance, and she makes people sign like a contract for a minimum of a few months. So each trainer will be different. Now, if I was going to hire, if I was going to tell you like what red flags to look for, if you're hiring a trainer online, you're going to have to 100% have to have open communication with them. I'm also going to be honest with you, and you need to remember that a lot of these personal trainers have lives and they also have jobs. Like my coach has a full-time job, and she still's training for her own life, and she got her own thing going on. She got her own life. So, I'll check in with her on Fridays, and I'll usually have a response or a tweak from her within 24 to 48 hours. I also, if I knew something was emergent, I could text her or I could message her on Instagram. But for the most part, it's pretty plain and simple. Eat this, do this, yes ma'am. Friday, here's how I'm looking, here's how this week's gone. And and that's another thing as well. When I check in with her, I have questions that she wants me to ask. How are you eating? How are you sleeping? Are you hungry? Have you been drinking your water? How's your digestion? How's the gym? Anything hurt? Anything bothering you? Do we need to make some tweaks? She'll say, hey, for this workout, I want you to send me a video. I want to check out your form. Things like that, because it's an overall picture. You can't not be honest with them, because again, you're paying this money, right? And I feel like when you pay somebody, it's just a whole different ball game, right? Because essentially they're working for you, right? But they're not your employee. You can't tell them what to do. You're hiring them to coach you. So sometimes you need to hear the truth from somebody. And sometimes that's going to be them, where they're like, hey, what's going on? I mean, I've never had this experience because, I take it seriously. Like $200, that's my money. Okay, Leo ain't paying for this. This is my money. So I can do a lot of things with $200. I can go and do some fun stuff for $200, so I make sure that I'm investing this money in myself. I'm going to get my money's worth, but also at this point, me and Brenda are friendly. We're friends. So if I needed her to be hard with me, she would. But luckily, like I said, I'm very good with following. Like someone gives me something to do, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But if you don't like being told what to do, if if you're not ready to commit and to just do exactly what they're saying, if you're not ready to have, you know, the longer days, if you're not ready to commit 100%, then this isn't for you. Don't waste your money and don't waste their time, because you're gonna have to work out. You can't just eat all the food and not do the movements. Or in the same respect, you cannot just do all the movements and skip a bunch of meals. Like, you have to be 100% committed to yourself and to them. And I think it could be really successful. Now, be wary of finding these trainers online, okay? I speak with this for the experience from the girl from Vegas. When I seen her, I was like, okay, like, she's thin, she looks pretty good, and she responded. Because I was trying to reach out for people for months. I was like, all right, let's go for it. And it was a mistake. It was a mistake because cardio isn't just the answer. You know, I mean, I feel like a lot of people just think cardio, and I felt like I was paying for something that I could have done for myself. And if you feel like that, then go with your gut feeling. Like, hey, you know what? I wanted this a little bit more personalized to me, a little bit more customized to me, and I just didn't, you know, and I specifically remember telling this girl, like, hey, you have all this workouts are HIIT exercises. I told you, because they asked if you have any physical ailments, and I said, hey, I have really bad knees, so I can't do any jumping or anything like that. It's just, I can't do stuff like that. It's just too hard on my knees. And she was like, oh, okay, and never changed them. So I couldn't do them, you know what I mean? So I was like trying to, you know, Google things to figure out what else I could do in opposed to that. So, and be honest, say, hey, these are my physical limitations. This is what I can and cannot do. Can we do something around that? And that was what I loved the most about Brenda, where I'd be like, hey girl, my sciatica is acting up really badly right now with the bar weights. Like, what should I do? And she's like, all right, great, here. And she would like send me a bunch of stuff. Let's try this. She'll send me like voice memos, text, she'll call me. Hey, let's talk on the phone. Let's talk about how we're doing. You know, she was truly a blessing. And if you don't feel like that, where you're like, I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes where I'm like, damn, I thought we were friends. Why you got me hurting like this? But like in a good way. Like, if you don't feel like you can trust them and they have your best interests in heart, even on the hardest workouts or the days where you're just hungry and you don't feel like eating, because those days are going to happen. There's going to be days where you're like, you know what, I don't want to eat any of this. I just want to go to McDonald's. I want to have a cake. I want to, you know, there's going to be days like that. But those are the days that separates you from everybody else. Because let's face it, if everybody could do this, if everybody could stay consistent, and if everybody can clean up their eating, if everybody could stay consistent in the gym, obesity would be a thing of the past, right? Like, my kids think it's easy. You guys know I have 3 daughters, right? And my daughters think it's easy. It's easy for you. It's easy. You like it. It's easy for you. Nothing is easy for me. Nothing is easy. There's no difference between me, you, and them, everybody else. I just get up and make the choice every day to do it. Because if I don't do it for myself, who's going to do it, you know? And actually, my middle daughter, Sophia, she actually went to the gym with me a few times. And she was like, Mom, this is hard. And I was like, yeah, girl. She's like, I can't believe you do this. And I was like, I know. But, like, I've never regretted going to the gym. I've never regretted a workout. I've never regretted saying, like, oh, I wish I would have stayed on the couch today. Never. There's times when I'm tired and I'm dragging ass and they're not the best workouts. But even on my not best, on my worst days, I never regret it. So all in all, would I recommend hiring a coach online? Because I'm going to be honest with you, when I told my dad I hired somebody online, he thought I was crazy. He's like, why would you hire somebody online? Like, why won't you hire somebody at the gym? I don't like working out. I wouldn't want somebody in my face like, come on, another one. Like, I don't like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's the people who own my gym, they offer in personal training. I couldn't do that. I just don't like it. I don't want somebody in my face. I don't want like somebody right there with me. Like, I want my list of my workouts to do. I want to put in my headphones and listen to whatever music choice I have because they're very eclectic. And I just want to zone out and get my workout in and just release all the toxins, release all the stress, and that's it. My trainer has it's called like FitLog. It's the app she uses, and it's great because I have all my workouts on there. And even if you're wondering, like, I don't know exactly what that means, there's like a little video that plays. Now, if your trainer does give you a workout and you're like, I don't know what a pendulum, I don't know, give me something, a hack squat thing looks like or something like that, Google it. Google hack squat or hack squat squats or whatever on Google Images, and it'll show you. Boom. I did that all the time. I did that for months because I wasn't entirely sure. Take out your phone and Google it, and it'll show you, and you go right to it. And if you're worried that people are watching you, if you're doing it wrong, or nobody cares. Nobody cares what you're doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. Today, want to hear what I did today? This is my embarrassing moment of the hour. I was doing lat pull downs, but we have a standing lat machine because it's an older gym and they build a lot of their equipment. And I was doing 90 pounds, and it was hard, right? Because I'm standing. When you're sitting, you can pull a lot of weight because your body weight's holding you down. But when you're standing, it's all on you, right? So my hands kept slipping because I have a really grip. So I put on my hooks. I have these little hooks, right? So I had the hooks on there, and I was pulling it down, and I was like, oh, I let it go. And I'm up there like this because I'm shorter, and I unhooked this one. And when I let it go, and the other one went, and my hook was done, and I was just hanging there like a fish on the hook. I hurt my whole hand. I was embarrassed, made an noise and everything. But I don't think anybody noticed, and if they did, oh well. I mean, people like puke in there and make farts and stuff. Nobody cares, okay? So would I recommend an online coach? Absolutely. Make sure you get one that has a good reputation. Make sure you interview with them, just like a job. Make sure you guys vibe. Make sure that, hey, you know what? What does your meal plans look like? Do you prefer macros? How can I get in touch with you? How can we communicate? What does your training look like? These are my physical limitations. Can we work around this? Make sure that you aren't just hiring somebody because they look skinny on a picture. Make sure you're hiring somebody who has the knowledge and who has a passion to support you and to help you get through it, but also make sure that you are 100% committed so you're not wasting their time and their energy, and you guys are meeting halfway, because it's a beautiful relationship you can make together, and you guys can also make the most beautiful results together, and it could be done. I promise. Proof's in the pudding. I'm the pudding. Like a lot less jigglier of a pudding. Imagine that. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you guys are having a great one. Take care of yourselves and each other. And I still don't remember the name of that damn protein powder. I'm getting old. My mind is Leo's barbecuing. Wonder what he's cooking. But I hope you guys have a great one. See you on the next one. Bye.